Good day, I'm Marshawn Crystal, and this is WAJ We Are Jackson News, and these are today's top stories. Mayor Tony T. Yarb and the Jackson City Council have approved the Neighbors First Lot program. The program is designed to address blight and revitalize underutilized residential properties in the city of Jackson. The Neighbors First Lot program would allow the city of Jackson to transfer city-owned lots in a predetermined planning area to the neighbors of those properties for a designated amount that starts at $10. But will not exceed $250. The program requires a resident to own property in the neighborhood, street or block. The city has begun a public education campaign which will include visits to community centers and neighborhood association meetings. For more information, visit the city website at www.jacksonmiss.gov. Now we have in our studio to talk a bit more about this exciting program is Mr. Vaughn Anderson, the coordinator for surplus property for the city of Jackson. We're excited to have him in the studio. Welcome, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chrysler. I'm
glad to have you in the studio. As we tell most of our guests, it's a very casual conversation about something we think is very important to the city of Jackson. It's a milestone in achievements, if you will, for the Mayor Yarb's administration. A great piece of legislation that allows, as I understand it, citizens to have access to property at a very, very reasonable rate. So why don't you talk to the viewers a bit about the program so they can be a little bit more educated on what it provides to citizens?
Certainly. First of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity and responsibility for being here.
Yes, sir.
I also want to say thank you to the mayor as well as the city council for this legislation and actually passing this legislation. I think it's something that will really make a difference in our community. The Neighbors First program is something that I guess would benefit the community in a way that hasn't been done in Jackson. Is what it does is it makes Jackson the change that we want to see. So often we talk about, well, we see a lot of blight in our community. We see all these bad things. And this is a program that can allow us to cure those programs in a holistic way. What the Neighbors First program does is allows stakeholders, and what I mean by stakeholders are residents or homeowners who live in the community, allows them the opportunity to acquire property at a very nominal rate that's owned by the city that may have fallen on hard times, blighted, but we can put it back on the roll. And that's what I mean by the change that we want to see. It allows us the opportunity to correct those problems, to clean up those problems, and beautify our city and make it that vibrant city that we would like it to be.
That's awesome, man. One of the things I heard you say very clearly is that it gets city-owned properties back on the tax roll.
Absolutely.
And I know you can speak from experience how important it is that that happens, because we know that if the data is correct, and we know that it is, that in excess of 40% of the properties in the city of Jackson are non-taxable for various reasons. But if I'm hearing you correctly, this is an opportunity to get it back on the tax roll. So that's important to note. But talk a bit about the cost to the public, because I know they can appreciate what that nominal fee is.
That nominal fee is anywhere from $10 to $50. It starts off with $10 for residents who may live adjacent to that property. What I mean by adjacent, who lives next door. That's a fancy word of saying next door. It allows them to acquire that property for $10. It's as little as $10 if you live next door to that property. And if you live on that street and it's vacant property, it's $50. So it's relatively easy to afford. It's easy to afford, but there's one caveat to that. You must pay those taxes moving forward, so the tax man cometh with that.
Absolutely. And also, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a prerequisite that you have to have some type of development plan or what you're going to do with the property. Is that right?
Absolutely. The properties that we're making available are properties that the city owns that we don't have a municipal need for. And also, along with that, you have to put in an application with the surplus committee. So what you would do is to submit an application for this program to the surplus committee. And what would happen is they would vote on it. But you must have a plan for it, a bona fide plan of what you plan to do with this property, because we don't want this property to fall back into disrepair once it's acquired. So what we want is an application with a plan of what you plan to do with this, and the surplus committee will make a yay or nay vote on that, and so we can move from there.
And what's important for the potential property owner to understand is you can certainly devise a plan, but the most important thing is you must keep that plan, right? You must make sure you do it, because if you don't, there's some consequences.
There are some consequences. We do have a reverter in those, most of the properties that we're allowing or conveying to these individuals, or any person that acquires these properties, there will be a reverter in there, which allows us to reacquire that property if they don't maintain that property, if they don't keep the grass maintained, if they're not doing what that plan spells out. We'll leave it up to them in terms of crafting that plan, but it has to go before the surplus committee. So they need to have something that's presentable to the surplus committee. It's not something that has to be overly drastic, and we do have technical assistants who will work with individuals to help them craft that plan if they don't have a quite understanding of how that works. But at this time, there's only a staff of one, so I'll try to make that best of my ability to assist those individuals who may have some questions about it. In fact, we do have some literature, and also we'll provide some resources to help them become more aware of this program as well. We're looking at having a website for this. We're looking to have a massive rollout for this program.
Well, that's great, and you're saying that once we have all the information and data comprised, that there'll be opportunity for citizens to go on our website. Absolutely. And get the information. Talk just a bit about how that would
What it would look like is we'll provide a mapping tool or GIS tool that allows residents to type in their address, and they'll be able to find out if you have some of these surplus properties in your community so that you can acquire them. Now, we won't have the state properties on there, but what we'll have are city properties. The city properties are the ones we're really concentrating on because those are the ones we can directly provide or convey to residents within the city of Jackson to make that change that we want to see in our community.
And most of the information we've shared thus far, Mr. Anderson, revolves around citizens, our neighbors, owning adjacent property. But I understand there's also a clause in there, if the neighbors within that community don't decide to acquire the property, there's opportunity for associations to do it. Talk a bit about that.
Absolutely. There's an exception in there. For instance, if a resident doesn't have the means or the ability to acquire that property or maintain that property, we have it in a way where it's tiered, where the next group can become the neighborhood association, where they're allowed to acquire these properties if they come together, work together, and quite frankly cooperate to just make these changes in our community. What they can do is acquire this property, pay the back taxes on it, or pay the taxes moving forward on this property, and keep this property for as long as they like. But there is a reverter clause on there. I have to keep reminding myself, and also just let the general public know there is a reverter clause in there, because if you don't do what you say you're going to do with that, the city will take that property back and convey it to someone else. But we do want to make it an opportunity for the residents to acquire this property. But if they don't have the means or the ability to acquire this property, we'll allow other folks within the city of Jackson. I want to say something too. It's for the city of Jackson. It's not for residents outside the city of Jackson. It's for a Jackson program, because we really want the neighbors to come first in our city.
And that's a very important point, because I think it's worth reiterating that the purpose of this program is to make sure that the stakeholders here in Jackson, the property owners and the neighborhood association, can get control of their neighborhood. I think that's the spirit of this particular piece of legislation. The priority is getting the neighborhoods to take ownership of property that was city property or governmental property, and develop it as they see fit that fits the fabric of their neighborhood. But secondly, as you mentioned, it has a lot to do with putting these properties back on land rolls and tax rolls. So that's very important.
Absolutely. What it is making neighbors good neighbors who take care of their communities, that become good citizens, that actually pay their taxes, because we need these resources to help with our infrastructure. We need these resources to help to beautify our city, and just quite frankly to help help everyone within this city to be what we would like it to be.
And very quickly, because we know the conversation is going to come up and we're running out of time, but
no problem. At
the end of the day, talk real briefly, maybe 30 seconds, about why this is not to be confused, and the distinction between stakeholders being homeowners versus renters, that this is really not a first-time buyer program. Talk a bit about that, because I know it's important.
I have to say this. First of all, this Neighbors First program isn't a first-time homeowners program. We do have first-time homeowner programs. There's a down payment assistance program that the city provides. I think Ms. Stamps within the Department of Housing at the City of Jackson can assist a person with that, as well as the Jackson Housing Authority provides homeowner training as well as resources for first-time homeowners and renters. But this program does not provide for that. What this provides is for homeowners who own property within the city of Jackson to acquire property that may be blighted next door to them, so that they can acquire this property and correct the problems that might be there. What it is an opportunity for residents to roll up their sleeves and make the change that they would like to see in their community.
And that's a key piece, and we'll end it there, that this is a program that is for homeowners and stakeholders within respective communities. to take control of those properties.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing. Well, we know we'll be bringing you back, Mr. Anderson, because this is going to be, I think, a very popular program that people are going to have a lot of questions about, and I know Mayor Yarber is looking forward to educating the public on it, because I know your phone is ringing nonstop. Yeah. And with that, we'll let you in by giving the contact information if they have questions about the program.
Sure. My number is 601-960-2266. And that's my direct line. And if anyone wants to talk about this program or get some better understanding of how this program works, I'll gladly talk with them. But it's a staff of one at this point, so please be patient, and I'll try to return your phone call if I miss it. But at the same time, I do want to be responsive, and I do want the residents to get involved and be that change they would like to see within their city.
So you're asking to be merciful, right?
That's right.
And patient. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. We'll have you back. Glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with WAJ News.
Hi, I'm Mayor Tony Yarber.
And I'm Jackson Police Chief Lee Vance.
Here in the city of Jackson, we recognize that you're our #1 crime-fighting resource. So we're providing you with a tool to help us respond to criminal activity in a timely manner.
Tip 411 allows residents to text or submit crime tips. Your name is not important, your information is. Officers will receive your messages and react in real time.
My #1 priority is your safety. This tool helps us work together to make Jackson a safer place.
Welcome back to WAJ News. In other news, the City of Jackson is meeting compliance measures related to the lead exceedance found in water samples. In June 2015, the Mississippi State Department of Health performed the required sampling for lead and copper. In January 2016, the city was notified by the health department that elevated levels of lead were found in some homes. The city distributed those results to the residents. The city initiated resampling, and the results showed that lead action levels were reduced, and at some sites there were no detection at all. In the full set of 100 sites sampled in January 2015, lab results show 11 are above the lead action level. The City of Jackson's water has not been deemed unsafe. However, out of an abundance of caution, pregnant women and small children should follow MSDH's recommendations for prevention of lead exposure from drinking water. Exceeding the action level does not necessarily indicate a violation of the Safe Drinking Water Act. However, additional compliance measures must be met, including more frequent sampling and taking measures to mitigate the reaction of the finished water with piping, plumbing, and service lines. Mitigation measures typically include implementation of flushing programs and optimizing corrosion control during the treatment process. The City of Jackson's source water and finished drinking water leaving the plant do not contain lead. Lead enters the water from the corrosion of materials containing lead in the pipes at the residence. When water is in contact with service lines and plumbing containing lead for several hours, the lead may enter drinking water. Homes built prior to 1988 are more likely to have lead pipes or solder. Public water systems like the City of Jackson are required to take measures that control erosion by treated water. The city's plants do not have corrosion control systems. However, the exceedance signals are immediate need to optimize the corrosion control system used by the city. Mayor Tony T. Yarber was joined by Councilman Charles Tillman recently to present a proclamation to the new Jackson State University head football coach, Tony Hughes. The mayor also presented a proclamation to Grammy-nominated artist Keone Starr. The mayor says he wanted to honor Jackson's natives who have made great contributions. Hughes is an assistant coach at Mississippi State University before being hired by JSU in December. Ms. Starr's song on Mark Ransom's hit album, Uptown Special, was nominated for a Grammy. We'll be right back with WAJ News.
AmeriCorps strengthens communities and develops leaders through community service. Are you ready to make a difference? AmeriCorps allows you to use your energy and talents to help others while earning money and gaining job skills. If you are age 18 or older, AmeriCorps is waiting for you.
Welcome back to WAJ News. In our studios today, we have Ricky Moore, the Emergency Operations Center Director for Hinds County, here to talk to us a bit about the operations that go on from day to day at the EOC, and also talk about some of the fantastic things they're doing for the citizens of Hinds County. Welcome, Ricky.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on the show today. And we tell our guests all the time, just sit back and relax. And we're going to have a casual conversation about the things that go on in the Emergency Operations Center. People see and hear about EOC all the time, but we know that they don't really know exactly what EOC does. And I think after today's segment, they will, and they'll appreciate what you do just a bit more. I know they see you riding around those fancy vehicles, you know, kind of like police officers, and
That's right.
certainly you are certified to carry out law enforcement functions. But again, just kind of discuss what your role is in terms of safety for the citizens of Hinds County.
Well, one of the things we do for Hinds County, of course, is weather. It's the weather season, so we're very active in that. We just had several tornado watches in the last couple of weeks, so we're very active in that. One of the things Hinds County's done over the last couple of years for the city and the county residents is we have 70 new outdoor warning sirens. So part of our job is to maintain those, make sure they're working, and that we have working when the need arises. Also in the office, fire coordinator's office, we have 12 volunteer fire departments in the county that we maintain budgets for, buy goods and supplies for them. So we stay busy. Also the Homeland Security Director, E911 coordinators in there, so we stay busy. We're in the process of getting a new communications system for our police officers and firefighters, City of Jackson, City of Clinton, and Hinds County officers also.
Sure, and I know that just from the news reports that we are, you know, well into the tornado season, quite frankly, and I know you can discuss with our viewers about how important it is, these alert systems, and how that plays a role in what you do.
Yeah, like I said, we had those 70 new tornado outdoor warning sirens installed over the last couple of years, but one other way you can be alerted is social media. We have Code Red in the county and in the city of Jackson, so it's not like it was in the old days where you only had a couple of TV stations to monitor to get your alerts. Now we have social media, we have Code Red, we have a great weather radio system going on where we assist the elderly with weather radios. So we have a good system going in place. Everybody has iPhones now, so you get your alerts. You take your alert with you. So we feel comfortable that we have a good program in Hinds County and the city of Jackson to alert citizens in time of severe weather.
And I know, Rick, just from my experience, that there was a time when a lot of those sirens, alert system had gone down. Have we gotten that kind of fixed for the county?
Yeah, I mean, of course, anything that's man-made is going to have problems. So we have, you know, if we have issues with sirens, certainly call our office and report it. We have electricians and technicians that go out and try to fix those sirens, but they are new. The ones we had were some 30 years old. Some of them even dated back older than that in the downtown area. So we do have a good system on keeping those repaired. So all the public has to do is call our office and let us know, and we'll get to it. We'll send somebody out there to look at it.
And that's important. And if you would, for the viewers, what is that number? Who do they contact?
601-960-1476. That's the Emergency Operations Center phone line.
Okay, excellent. I know that'll be very helpful because I'm sure, and if I'm not mistaken, we still do those alerts, as you said, during the first of the month.
First of every month at noon, we test our sirens. So if you didn't hear your siren for some reason, let us know. We'll go out and check it. And of course, we get complaints every month that somebody might not have heard their siren, and we'll go out and physically check it, make sure it's not working.
Okay. And tell the viewers also about the relationship between the federal agencies, state agencies, county, and city. How does that work in tandem?
Well, all disasters start at the local level, and then it goes up to the state level and to the federal level. We have a great working relationship with the State Emergency Management Agency. We just had a meeting with the new director out there last week, so we have a great working relationship with them. We have what they call area coordinators, who most of their area coordinators has 9 counties that they oversee. We have actually offered space at the EOC for the MEMA area coordinator. She has an office down there, so we have a great working relationship with our federal and state partners.
Okay, fantastic. And I know we've been talking about the alert system, and one of the things that we have upcoming is something that has a historical value. I know some 50 years ago there was a major natural disaster that occurred not only in Hinds County but across the state over into Alabama, I believe, and that was the Candlestick tornado. Talk to the viewers a bit about that and what the county, state, and city are doing to commemorate it.
Well, Severe Weather Awareness Week starts February 29th through March the 4th. It just happened to be the same week, February 3rd, March 3rd is the 50th anniversary of the Candlestick Park tornado. So that day, city officials, county officials, state officials, we're going to gather at Candlestick Park and have a commemorative service for the victims, the people that lost loved ones or friends. We're asking the public, if you know of anyone that may have any memories of the Candlestick Park tornadoes, to please ask them to come. We want as many people as we can get there to come and share their stories. I was living in the area. You're gonna make me tell my age, right?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I think you mentioned you was a really, really small boy.
I was a really, really small boy. I was actually 11 years old, so I have a good memory of it. I actually didn't live within a mile of where the tornado hit Candlestick Park, so we're asking the public to come out. Back then, we didn't have much alerting system. So, you know, we had 2 TV stations. If you wasn't watching TV back then, you didn't know that you had severe weather coming. So we're so much more into technology now. The Board of Supervisors, the City of Jackson, they bought into this technology. So we're all about making sure the public is safe during severe weather.
And that's an excellent point, and I agree with you. We've certainly made tremendous advancements in terms of technology, not only here locally, but nationally and worldwide. And that speaks volumes as to what we've done thus far to make our citizens more safe. I'm very excited about the fact that you have put a lot of emphasis on expanding and increasing our technology here in the county. One of the things I'm aware of that the city and the county have come onto the same radio system now, so we can communicate better. And so you can just talk a bit about that and how important that is also.
Yeah, of course, we have a current radio system with the county is seen its days, and we've going to a more modern communication system, joining the statewide system. These outdoor warning sirens will be put on that system also, so alerting them will be more, a better alert system to operate on these outdoor warning systems. But we will be going to a state-of-the-art system, the MISWIN system, for all our police and firemen and first responders out in the county. So we'll also have that interoperability. All agencies can talk across the county. They'll be able to talk statewide. If you send people from here to other counties to render aid, they'll be able to talk to those agencies also. So we're excited about this.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited. I'm so thankful that you were able to come today, Rick, and share that information, which I know will be helpful to our viewers, and talk about your role in public safety, just not in the county, but certainly a big part of the city of Jackson. So we appreciate your efforts and your leadership at the Hinds County EOC, and we're going to have you back. Our time here is so quick, and so. But I've enjoyed the conversation and the information sharing. So thanks again, and we'll have you back soon.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with WAJ News.
What a day, what a day. Time to go. Let's make haste. Not a second to lose, not a moment to waste. A big cat, a great ape, and a sleepy giraffe. Don't stop now, time to go. Let's make smiles and share laughs. Time with mom, fun with dad. That's a cougar, it is. Snap a pic with the fam. What a day to be kids. Lots more stuff to explore. We'll soon be on our way. Let's get cool souvenirs to remember the day. Hit the carousel now. Let's go round and around. Hey, what's under the glass? Oh, and look what I found. Frozen drinks to cool off, and if that's not enough, a fun water slide and a cool splash pad and stuff. Look at that, here we go. We can ride on a train. I don't know about you, I've got zoo on the brain. What a day, what a day. Lots to see, lots to do. Just one question to ask. How do you zoo?
Welcome back to WAJ News. The Mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program will host a Youth Employment Expo on Thursday, March 10th at the Center Court of Metro Center Mall. The city is accepting business vendors who are interested in participating in the Youth Employment Expo. Students are selected for the mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program, receive work assignments in the city departments and nonprofit organizations. Other students are referred to private businesses as prospective summer hires. For more information, contact the Department of Human and Cultural Services Family and Youth Division at 601-960-0326. The bridge structure located at Robinson Road between Raymond Road and McDowell Road Extension is closed to all vehicular traffic. A routine inspection by certified bridge inspectors through the Office of the Mississippi Department of Transportation State Aid found significant structural grade separation on the southeast corner of the bridge. The timber retaining wall was deteriorated to the point that closure is warranted until the bridge can be replaced. The bridge will be closed for a minimum of 9 months. The City of Jackson is encouraging citizens of Jackson to participate in Roll-Off Dumpster Day. Weather permitting, residents can take the tree limbs, other yard debris, and household items to one of the following locations on March 5th, 2016 from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In North Jackson, Smithwell Stadium, 1200 block of Lakeland Drive, east of the softball field. In Central Jackson, gravel lot just east of 2550 Mega Evers Boulevard, Old Pepsi Building, west of Jackson Medical Mall. In West Jackson, Rains Park, 5260 Clinton Boulevard and Flag Chapel Road, located in the parking lot. In South Jackson, Tennis Center South, 1517 McDowell Road, located in the parking lot. And now here's a list of some upcoming community events. The Department of Public Works Pothole Patrol continues to make daily rounds to address problems on city streets. Now the public can get a list of the streets getting repaired each day. Just visit the city website at jacksonmiss.gov to find out if your street is on the list. Residents are encouraged to call 311 to report a pothole. Now let's turn our attention to Dr. Timothy Quinn with Healthy Jackson.
Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm Dr. Timothy Quinn, and we're going to have our Healthy Jackson medical segment. Today we're going to talk about allergies. It's about that time of year. The beautiful trees, the flowers, everything is so beautiful outside, but your new car, your beautiful car, is now covered with this yellow chalky material. What is that? That is pollen. Now, pollen is a good thing because it's nature's way of rejuvenating, fertilizing the flowers and the trees, and everything is growing up beautiful. But the deal is, the bad part is, you develop allergies. And I'm talking about the itchy eyes, the runny nose, the sneezing, the cough, the headache, and so on and so on. The good news is there are a lot of over-the-counter treatments you can take before even going to a doctor. And in a lot of cases, they'll work. That's right. I'm going to let you know that you don't necessarily have to go to the doctor right away. You can try some of the over-the-counter treatments. Now, what I recommend are the antihistamines, and that would include like the Allegra, the Claritin, the Zyrtec. All these can be bought or purchased over the counter. Now, another good advice would be to try the nasal steroids like the Flonase that you spray into your nose. Now, some people, they don't like to do the nasal steroid, but it works, And for a lot of people, with the combination of the nasal steroids along with the antihistamines, hey, your symptoms can be resolved. But just be aware that if you start to develop fever, maybe have a productive cough where you're coughing up something, or like you have a lot of congestion, at that point you tried the antihistamines, you tried the nasal steroids, then I would advise you to go see the doctor, especially if you develop fever, because this is a warning sign that you could have a bacterial infection and you'll need an antibiotic. You can't necessarily get that over the counter. And it's a good idea to go ahead and get checked out because you don't want to get, worse with your symptoms. So hopefully this advice was good. Go out there and enjoy the beautiful spring weather, the flowers, but just be aware that that chalky yellow powder on your car is not always the most pleasant thing, but the spring can be enjoyed. Until next time, let's all stay healthy.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of WAJ We Are Jackson News. From everyone here, thank you for watching WAJ News. I'm Marshawn Grissler. Good day, Jackson.